as the crisis rocking the All Progressives Grand Alliance continues. The Supreme Court has made further clarifications on the issue. The Apex Court says the judgment delivered on the 14th of October 2021 was between one Chief Jude Okeke and APGA, including 3 other respondents, while one Chief Edozie Njoku was never made a party to the proceedings as well as the judgment. And I do have in the studio Edozie Njoku, who is also laying claim to the seat following the judgment of the Supreme Court. Thank you so much, Edozie, for being here.
Thank you very much.
And here we are. The last time we had you in the studio, I thought the next time we'll have a conversation, it's like INEC has recognized you, or this is what has happened with APGA, and we're moving forward and getting ready for the 2023 election, especially looking at your success in Anambra State. But this clarification by the Supreme Court, looking at it now, it says you were never even a party to the case in the first place. That even raises more questions and it provides more clarity. Talk to us about that.
Okay, let me explain that to you. It was a case where Jude Okeke and the other deputy went to Jigawa to remove me behind our backs. That they said they had suspended me, and the court gave the judgment to them. If you notice, it was referred to in the Supreme Court. We now went to the Court of Appeal. And on page 73, the Court of Appeal said they raised something to say it was an election matter. It had to be done within 2 weeks. And they said we came on late because we found out a bit late. I know you found out a bit late as well, Andrew. But they now joined OIE, and they did not join me. But in their judgment, because they now said they made a mistake on page 73, that Chief Edozie Njoku ought to have been joined as a chairman.
That's at the appeal court.
At the appeal court.
But now the Supreme Court is actually clarifying that you were not joined in that suit.
Let me come to that. So they now said I ought to have been joined. We now rushed to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said they're not going to deal with any joiners. That the important thing is that suspension at the lower court ought not to have been, it was dismissed. The case was dismissed. So as soon as the case is dismissed, one of the judges, which was Salowa, made a point there. There were 2 judges that made 2 other points, and it was a unanimous judgment. So when it's a unanimous judgment, every other judgment is part of the judgments. One of the judges said it should revert back to the status quo, which is that mischief should be undone, which is the mischief of the removal of Chief Edozie Njoku as the national chairman.
Edozie Njoku, I ask you straight up, are you still the chairman of APGA?
I'm the chairman of APGA, by virtue of the Supreme Court.
Have you now been recognized by the Independent National Election
by virtue
Commission?
of that announcement, where letters are going back to INEC for them to recognize me. 2 points were made. They said that the convention was done in Owerri. As you remember, in issue, 2 para conventions were done. One in Oka by Oye, and one in where we were doing it on the same day, 31st of May. Right. The party did it in Owerri, but they went and did one in Government House in Oka, which he emerged. And the Supreme Court has made it clear there. So the first question we should be asking Nigeria is, why should Oye's name be in INEC when they know from the Supreme Court? Forget about Edozie Njoku. We're going to come to that. But at the point, why are they now making people who are not candidates as candidates of APGA? Because it will never stand the test of time. Right. It's been made clear in the Supreme Court that every candidate emerging, the convention was done in Owerri.
But for this clarification by the Supreme Court, some would say it raises more questions than it gives answers, especially for the fact that you are not joining them. But let's go back to the fact that as it stands right now, you are not recognized by the Independent National Electoral Commission as the chairman of APGA. And I remember Festus Okoye, the last time we actually tried to probe to get some answers with regards to your peculiar situation. He says APGA has a choice to go back to the court and get some sort of judgment. Sue us. If you feel we're not doing the right thing. So where are we in terms of that?
You will see as things will play out. You understand? They really fell into a major hole at this point. The most important thing at the moment is that it's made clear that Oye cannot be the national chairman of APGA. Because if we did our conventions in Owerri and he wasn't in Owerri, who is he represented?
He cannot be, but you're not recognized either. So who then is the chairman of APGA?
In a short while, things will play out. What has just happened by that letter is incredible. A lot of things. You will notice in the, and Mark, I'll remind you, in the 2 weeks' time, you will see what will play out from that thing that has happened.
Right.
A lot will play out. The most important thing is be made clear that either the legal department of INEC are not advising the commission properly, because why on earth should someone who did not participate in the convention of APGA be recognized? First of all, forget about myself, but why are you being recognized? If the commission have distributed this letter saying that they have admitted that conventions were done in Owerri, why would you leave Oye to be there? It's a question INEC has to answer. Okay,
so until we get that answer from INEC, we have to look at the fact that, you know, APGA as a party was seen, first of all, as a regional party for the Southeast. Eventually, it actually snowballed. We have to admit that. We've seen, you know, commissioners and, you know, other positions go to APGA. But yet, this internal squabblings, some would say, threatens the potentials of the party. And of course, I have to ask you, the internal crisis mechanism in APGA to resolve all of these issues without having the court to decide who should be the chairman, which some would say has far-reaching implication on the fortunes of the party at the next general elections. Are you looking inwards to find a solution beyond what the courts are saying?
Yes, if you remember on your channel, when we won the case in the Federal High Court, I stood out to say both myself and Oye, for the party to move forward, should step aside. We've gone beyond that now because it's gotten to the Supreme Court and there's no longer a crisis in the party. Eventually, it will all ironed out. But one thing we must bear in mind is that the reason why APGA tried to get the party away from Anambra State was to solve this problem. That party became a small party in one area just for Anambra issues. And the party as a whole has said, no, we must deal with it. And we went to a convention and decided. And it was Oye that appointed both the chairman and the secretary of the convention committee. When he saw he was not going to, he didn't have the delegates to win, he decided to go to Oka to go against the party and went and got an injunction.
You do have a sitting governor in the person of Charles Soludo. What is his take on this crisis on APGA? And is it trying to
he needs to
some sort of peace?
He needs to try and do something now. But the reason you can understand why he's a bit aloof is because it's Oye from the Oka convention that has appointed him as governor. So he feels, but he doesn't quite understand that party is a party. The party can come to some understanding.
Irrespective of
some, you can arrange things properly. But because of that singular reason that he knows that there was a total illegality, he has to keep forcing it to see whether he can.
At the detriment of the entire party.
At the detriment of the entire party.
Edozie Njoku, you say you're going to INEC in the next couple of days. We'll follow up with you and see how that goes. And all the best to you and your party.
Thank you very much
as you try to resolve these issues beyond even the courts, even though the Supreme Court's clarification is out. But of course, INEC has to recognize you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.